According to the World Gold Council, Ghana is Africa's largest producer of gold, and the country is truly living up to its nickname, the Gold Coast of Africa. Ghana has also seen its gold production rise from 3.7 million ounces in 2022 to an impressive 4 million ounces in the year 2023. This is the country's highest output since the COVID-19 pandemic. This shows a strong recovery and growth in Ghana's mining sector. These numbers translate to an 8.3% increase in gold production in the beautiful country. And they are not just statistics. In fact, they represent Ghana's resilience and its ability to cash in on its natural resources. Because the prices of gold has hit a record high, which is hovering around $2,364, and that is a whopping 16.5% increase compared to last year. Experts even predict that it could reach a staggering $2,500 by December 2024. And this simply means Ghana is really cashing in on gold. But it's not just gold that is on the rise. Revenues from bauxite and diamonds have also seen significant increases, even though manganese exports have slightly declined. Looking ahead, the Ghana Chamber of Mines is optimistic. They project that manganese production will increase to 5 million tons. Bauxite will reach between 1.2 million and 1.5 million tons, and diamond exports will climb to approximately 220,000 to 250,000 carats. Despite these impressive numbers, the mining and quarrying sector in Ghana contributed around 5.8 billion Ghana cedis, or roughly $482.2 million to the country's GDP in the second quarter of the year 2023. This means the mining sector is generating about just 10% of the country's gross domestic product and 40% of its foreign exchange earnings.
For several years, the mining sector has been the bulwark of our national economy. The sector has consistently been the leading source of export revenue, accounting for some 47% of our total export receipts last year.
While these numbers are notable, there is a belief that Ghana can do even better. Experts suggest that with the right strategies and investments, the mining sector could contribute more significantly to the country's economy. One influential voice in this discussion is a paramount chief from Ghana, who has proposed critical measures for the government and investors to ensure that Ghana and the whole of African continent benefit more from their natural resources. So let's hear from the king himself.
If we look at the West African region, from Sierra Leone all the way to Nigeria, we find in Guinea, water body, the Niger, that takes its source from there all the way around through Niger, through Nigeria, and ends up in the ocean at the Delta Basin. We also have the Volta River that takes some water all the way from Cote d'Ivoire. Just across, we've got the Senegal and the Gambia River is also flowing in that direction. Source of power, source of water for the mining industry. We have the ocean, transport to get material into West Africa. Obviously, a big missing link, road infrastructure, railway, are other areas that we should look at in trying to harness the complete mineral resources in the sub-region. We should not only stay here in West Africa, we should look through to other parts of Africa, the DRC, where lots of research has been done by the World Bank to be able to harness energy from the DRC all through West Africa, ending up in the Liberia. If we're going to mine bauxite, and I know we'll be mining more, which requires lots of energy, then this is the forum for us to meet, engage robustly and respectfully to be able to make this happen. We shouldn't shy away from the investment that we want to put here. We can do it because we've done it before. And we should continue to do it. Mr. Chairman, local ownership and participation in the extractive sector is crucial for our own development. The reason being, if we own our resources and we keep the money here, we would see faster progress in our development than what has happened in some years back. And always look like the country that I would say I grew in, or spent most of my money career in South Africa, where the mines are owned, they're listed on the stock exchanges in Johannesburg. They are able to use that money or resources to develop the entire country. Johannesburg, a typical mining town that has now grown into a hub. Accra or West Africa can overtake that if we keep the money here in investment. We should encourage, and I heard the minister say, we need to start listing on stock exchanges, and I'm proud Atlantic Lithium has done that. Companies that come to invest in West Africa, by all means, should not shy away and should not be scared of doing that. We're safe, and it's good to keep your money here. We have money to buy. If you don't give us the opportunity by listing, we may not see the benefits of mining. Community involvement, very crucial. In the sense that we're going to use the people, we're going to, who knows where the resources are, and are resilient, and are prepared to help. Anytime we get into our communities, let's treat them with respect. Let's enjoy them, respect their cultural heritage, and through that, you will get your social franchise and peace to work. It may not be easy, but through constant collaboration and talks, you should be able to succeed. Employment, I've mentioned that already, or previous speakers have. Ghana, I don't think there's any country in the world that you go and you'll not find a Ghanaian working there. I'm not saying we should all come back. We'll be glad if they did. But all the same, we have the capacity. And in areas that we don't have, I believe through training and development, we should be able to harness that energy or the people to help us meet the challenges in the mining industry. We're all getting clever now in terms of use of technology, artificial intelligence. If we don't have the capacity here, we can always import. And we can always train people here to be able to help. We are willing. Local procurement, I'm sure we're doing it very well. Through the chamber, we've been able to make sure that most of the materials required to work in the mining industry are locally sourced. And especially when we get into the mining operations services area, and I'm so glad that tailings dams have been added to the categories of works that are left for locals. Previously, medical services and even janitorial services and catering were all open to foreign companies. We need the money. Bring it. Engage us, partner us, and we should be able to drive some of these things on your behalf. Infrastructure development is key, and I think I've mentioned it. with a vast resource of water for power generation, greener energy I'm talking about, and then looking at the amount of sun that we have here, we should be able to harness solar. Rail lines, very important. I'm sure there's a rail line from Cote d'Ivoire through Abidjan to Burkina, Ouagadougou. Ghana is busy constructing one. I wish the Minister for Railways were here to give us some feedback. But if we're able to do this, we will be able to bring down the cost curve, because transport is key to enable us carry all these big, heavy equipment and bulky equipment up north, west, or south. I remember working in the DRC in a place, Mumbwalu, which was one of AngloGold's property that was acquired some years back. And to get material to Mumbwalu could take you 3 months. Because whatever you need will have to come through the East Coast, will have to travel through Kenya, get into DRC and get out of DRC again into Uganda, and then back into the DRC before you get it in Mumbwalu. And there are no roads. So we can make it. One day shutdown or one day production shut for a mine, it's a lot of money. We need that infrastructure. We need the security to allow it, and I'm talking to governments on cross borders to allow the smooth flow of mining equipment into other parts of West Africa, through Ghana, maybe, but any country that is prepared to have that infrastructure in, especially north to the landlocked countries. The African mining vision stipulates, amongst other things, that Africa's mineral resources play a transformative role in the continent's development, fostering sustainable economic growth and socio-economic development. The AMV seeks to harness the continent's vast mineral wealth to drive prosperity and eradicate shared prosperity and sustainable development. Ladies and gentlemen, more work needs to be done to strengthen the institutions and governance frameworks. And I'm sure we continue to do that. We have policies and procedures that are looking into this particular direction. And we need to make sure we emphasize that in everyday's deliberations as we continue to invest. The nexus between mining and power is evident. And I'm talking sustained power. If we're able to go into greener power, and lots of it, we should be able to bring down the cost curve. Power is expensive, and without it, we cannot melt, we cannot smelt. And I hear we've put up a refinery, and this is going to take lots of energy to be able to do that. So people in the power sector, look for these opportunities and bring more power into West Africa and connect the grid. That if Ghana is down, Burkina Faso should be able to produce, Cote d'Ivoire should be able to produce, Niger should be able to produce with plutonium or uranium in their nuclear plants. Why can't we do that? We shouldn't only focus on the already existing infrastructure. We need to go greener. As fossil fuels slowly gets out of the way, we should be able to replace it. When I was listening, Ghana's petroleum extraction is gone down. It means that there will come a point in time where we need to double it up through other sources, whether wind, solar, uranium, or any other forms that we can think of. This may require regulative reforms, but I'm sure during the next 2 days in this conference, we should be having discussions on that. Public-private partnerships, capacity building, infrastructure development, I've already mentioned. As an industry, and I'm taking myself out of it already because I'm no longer in the industry, so I can say you. Meaning that you, the mining companies and power companies, cannot afford not to take care of the environment. Reversing the situation must be a matter of highest priority. You should therefore feel it as a duty and to demonstrate that mining and power generation can be carried out in a sustainable manner. I entreat you to commit to a sustainable practice in mining and to respect the environment and uplift our communities. We need investment that not only yields economic returns, but also contributes to the long-term prosperity of our country and the entire West African sub-region. In addition, mining companies compete with agriculture. It's an area that we more often ignore or would not pay attention to. But if you look at the extent of our tailings dams, we compete for land from agriculture. And this is where, Minister, maybe we should start looking at more vertical lifts, properly engineered, and not just go for horizontal tailings dams. Waste rock dams also compete for land. Solution: why are we not remining our tailings dams or giving that sand away to the construction industry for them to make blocks or concrete and use them in building, instead of the sand industry now attacking the rivers just to mine sand when there's plenty sand on our tailings dams? How do we use technology to make sure that the tailings that they're going to take away will not contain any dangerous minerals or pollutants? But that's a source of wealth sitting there. I know we say, well, one day we'll go back and mine the gold. But let's build houses of gold and we'll all be millionaires.
These ideas from the king are great ideas to help Ghana and Africa maximize its natural resources potential, and it is a shared responsibility. And I believe with visionary leadership, strategic investments, and a committed to sustainable development, the country stands poised to shine even brighter on the global stage. So stay tuned as we continue to follow Ghana's path to a golden prosperity. And that is all for today's episode. Please let us know your thoughts and suggestions on this in the comment section below. My name is Sheriff Haruna. Have a joyful life and see you in our next video. Macrao.